On the ABC7 Los Angeles app, I'm David Ona.
I'm Ellen Leyva. Thousands of people are once again taking part in protests across Southern California, demanding justice for George Floyd and against police brutality. Despite dozens of marches over the last week, LAPD is reporting 2,700 arrests, but 90% of those are for curfew violations. There have also been 60 police vehicles that have been damaged. Mandatory curfews will once again be in place in communities across our area. Some are already in effect and go into place now. Curfews for both LA County and LA City are from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Meanwhile,
your attention because you don't want to see any accidents. So fortunately, it looks like they've been managing to stay a little bit closer to the right, let that traffic get through there, and the march continues now westbound on Sunset for this particular group. Again, if you're joining us, we're talking about several groups scattered throughout the Hollywood area, several thousand strong, each of them upwards of about 8,000 to 10,000 all together by my estimation from up here in Air 7 HD. An incredibly peaceful march. We've had very few incidents. We did see one couple detained a little bit earlier, but certainly nothing really to write home about. It's been a largely unifying experience, and it looks like a pretty joyous experience for the most part down there, at least from our perch up here in Air 7 HD, guys.
It does seem very, a lot of people are looking like they're having fun out there, of course, for a very big cause. As we approach 3:30 p.m. with two major demonstrations happening right now in Hollywood and in downtown Los Angeles, we are going to stay on the air. World News Tonight will air on channel 7.2. All right, now we're going to go to Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes. Rob, you are live in Hollywood, where you are in with a sea of protesters right there.
Yeah, Hollywood and Vine right now, very calm. Big change from, say, 45 minutes ago when things got a little heated. But you can see this is a woman we spoke with live on air a short time ago. She's now on someone's back, communicating to the crowd as well. I'm going to walk up and see if I can hear what she's saying.
I need Bella and Dell. So please still. They're going to move. They're going to move, and then we're going to move.
All right, well, she's...
We got shot at because they got 3 young, unarmed black men in the alley. So we were peacefully protesting. We walked to the alley like, hey, what's going on? The officer said, we think they're looting, and then they started shooting into our fucking crowd. Nope. We were peacefully protesting. They apprehended 3
Poor Rob, which that we heard, but always...
You know what? It does show the raw emotion. We've talked about the peaceful nature, and we tried to use this and make this line earlier. It's better to say nonviolent, because there are still emotions. There is still very real, raw anger. Even as it has pulled back from its earliest stages, people are beginning, as Dr. Howard talked about earlier, to process what they want to accomplish, what they want to see. And that's what law enforcement is dealing with. They are very upfront about their feelings, and it's been remarkable on both sides, the restraint being shown, that they're able to let those emotions out, and it doesn't lead to anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go up to Air 7 HD. Chris Christie is there, and Chris, sometimes you're able to see a better picture, but you're not able to feel the emotion that is down there on the ground.
You know, it's interesting. There's kind of a spectrum of emotion, and you can tell just based on the body language. You can have one block and one group having a confrontation with police and a lot of screaming and chanting, and it looks a little more, a little more animated. And then a block away, you might see somebody with music playing and people taking on more of a dancing feel in the middle of the intersection. And then you have another intersection where you have almost looks like, I can't speak from up here, but you have everybody kneeling in the middle, and it looks so quiet, at least from up here. It almost looks like a moment of silence at times, where they're just respecting the law enforcement that's blocking the intersection, and they just take a knee and let their voices be heard. They have signs that, again, it's a spectrum of messages, a spectrum spectrum of emotion, and you can kind of grasp it a little bit. Of course, it's nothing like being down there in the middle of it all, but when you get that bird's eye view and you see the different profiles of different groups of demonstrators, it's kind of interesting. It really does span the gamut.
Absolutely, Chris.
Colleen, the Brea protest has moved a couple blocks down. We're now at Imperial and Brea Boulevard. They have moved away from that main intersection that they were at, and they marched down Imperial towards Brea Mall, and then flipped a U-turn, came back this way. And they're on each corner of the intersection, and I want to grab these women here who are from Brea. Tell me about the emotions going through you right now.
I just can't believe the community right now. Everyone's coming together for such a big movement, and I'm at loss for words. I didn't plan on coming out until I saw everyone lined up when I came home from work today, and I'm in it for the long run. I'm gonna go to every single protest that I can until there's change to be made.
Who are you here with?
I'm here with my best friend Tiffany, my sister Chandre, and my other best friend Samaya, and my cousins are across the street. We're all here together.
Family and friends.
Family and friends. New acquaintances, new friends.
Okay.
This is the community to be in.
Let me see your sign saying Black Lives Matter, I can't breathe. Tell me about your emotions going into this today and why it's so important to let these drivers that are passing you by hear your message.
Because I have black brothers. I have nephews that are black. And I'm over this. I'm over the racism that the police do, and we let them go because they have badges. They call us thugs because we're protesting. What about the thugs that are wearing badges? I have a heart condition. I was afraid to come out because of COVID. But I'd rather come out and fight for my brother's lives than fucking stay at the house. Sorry, I'm sorry to say that. But enough is enough. We need to fight for our lives. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care if you're old. Come out, protest, because they're going to kill us either way.
Well, there we go. You were seeing those strong emotions at this non-violent protest with the police blocks away, just keeping an eye on it from a distance. Live in Brea, Tony Cabrera, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. Right now, I believe we're going to go back to Rob Hayes, who's been there on the ground. And Rob, how's it going there?
All right, Hollywood and Vine, the police just cleared the intersection. They've moved out, and they are now letting the protesters continue on. They're moving south on Vine. I know we were saying there's another group that's to the south on Sunset somewhere, so I believe they may be trying to kind of hook up with the rest of the march. But there's probably about a rough estimate, 1,000 to 2,000 people who were kind of bottlenecked here once they shut down this intersection because of what was going on a little further to the east on Hollywood Boulevard. But they've opened up the intersection, and it looks like
where many tourists go, Sunset and Vine, and that's exactly where that was, where Chris was showing us those images. He's going to have to take care of a situation. In the meantime, we're back to a live situation here. Those live pictures from Manhattan Beach, a peaceful showing of a few protesters there, and you, of course, saw a little while ago, just downtown Los Angeles, an enormous amount of protesters. So we're just trying to give you a glimpse of all the different situations and all the different places where people have shown up to basically protest and deliver their message. So, Ron, our question to our producer, are you telling me to move on to this right here? Okay, so here we go. We want to deliver this message right
from ABC 7. This is an Eyewitness News update.
All right, a disturbing arrest overnight. An armed man was taken into custody, allegedly posing as a member of the National Guard. Law enforcement sources tell us that this is a suspect. He is 31-year-old Gregory Wong, and those sources say that he took an Uber to downtown L.A., geared up in National Guard attire with an assault rifle. He then fell into formation with real National Guard troops, and some of those troops noticed him and called LAPD officers over. The arrest was made about 1:30 this morning, and sources tell us Wong is a former guardsman, and he wanted to join in the fun. The rifle was a ghost gun, a homemade weapon without a serial number. Wong is currently being held on $50,000 bond. An interesting story here, but we want to point out nothing terrible happened, but it is a curious situation where somebody wanted to integrate himself within the National Guard.
Yeah, absolutely, Ari. It's something to be a little concerned about, for sure. And we also have a follow-up right now on a very poignant moment our cameras captured yesterday. Surrounded by protesters on Sunset Boulevard, which is what happened when an LAPD commander chose to take a knee.
If I take a kneel with you guys, will you give me your verbal acknowledgement that this is a peaceful matter? I will give you my commitment and honor that you will not see police officers in front of you. Fair enough?
All right, you saw that Commander Corey Polka taking the knee right there with so many people. And again, we need to tell you, both sides did keep their promise. Most protesters left before curfew, and we were able to talk to Commander Polka today about why he chose to do that.
It was just an opportunity for me to speak on behalf of the LAPD, to speak on behalf of the community and the people I know, and just to remind everybody that, you know, we are in this together. And though we wear uniforms and we may be across skirmish lines, that behind this badge is a working heart, an empathetic heart, an understanding heart, and human beings who have families, who care about our community, who care about our city, and who want to serve. And that was my intent, to deliver the message, to break bread, to put my hand out and establish peace, in hopes that it would be an expression of freedom of speech and an opportunity to show their frustration and their anger as protected by the Constitution.
Protest.
What was it about this one that made you say, you know what, I'm going out there?
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. My family, my brother's Mexican, my mom's Mexican, and they've dealt with this. And it's this one that everybody came, whether they are white, whether they are Mexican, Asian, it doesn't matter what race you are. We are here for a movement, and it is going to happen. 2020, by the end of this year, God will put peace on all of this entire, and he will make peace, and it will be done. It needs to be done.
There you go. Thank you so much. Words of peace here on the corner of Imperial and Brea Boulevard, as a number of people, several hundred, it has grown through the day. It has also moved throughout the day. We were a couple blocks down at Birch and Brea Boulevard, where a lot of people who aren't from Brea, that's where they go for the restaurants. There's some fancy, cool restaurants. There's a movie theater there. But then they eventually marched down the street, down Brea Boulevard towards Imperial. We thought they might be heading towards the mall, but then they turned back to this specific intersection. And here they are, as the lights turn green, they're moving forward. Can I interview you guys about why it's important for you to be here?
Can you say it again?
Why are you here? What made you get out of your house and come to this?
I'm here to protest injustice against all people. Everyone should be treated equally, no matter their race, color, or anything. And that just needs to be, that message needs to be portrayed everywhere. Not just here, not just in LA, not just Minneapolis, everywhere. It needs to be the same everywhere.
There you go. Now, as far as the police presence, you know, we have seen them, but they're not right here where the protests are happening. They're yards away, just kind of making sure that everything's okay, so that they're not taking that direct approach so far. And what we've seen is nonviolent, peaceful. They're here, but they're very passionate. You know, we've heard so many people who are, you know, nearly in tears talking about why this is such a crucial thing for them to be doing right now. So